And good afternoon, Albo here. Coming on, just wanted to chat with you guys. Thanks so much for coming. This is the first time we're doing something like this. This is Albo News Live. I want to do this occasionally. I'm hearing myself, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. At least you hear me. Um, so we're going to come on and we're going to do this maybe every day, maybe just occasionally, but we want to try different things, different kinds of news alerts, different kinds of reporting like this, where we can come on and just chat with you, the viewers and the readers of Albo News and fellow news consumers. The first thing we want to say is a quick thank you to a couple people who have donated in the past couple weeks to kind of start this, launch this venture, and help pay for a microphone because we're currently using a cheap Chromebook for this type of stuff. So, being able to purchase a microphone to make me sound a little bit better, thank you so much. And that's AJ Zeppenfeld donated $25 and Mark Johnson donated $10. Next will be better, more technology and different things so we can actually do this more and look at this. There is a link in the description if you are so inclined to help us out and support us. But we are looking at a few different stories that have been breaking over the last few hours. The biggest story of the day is that Missouri Governor Eric Greitens did resign a short time ago, denying a lot of the allegations that were put against him in the indictment, kind of speaking to kind of know that he may be impeached if he didn't resign. You might remember back in February, Greitens was indicted. This story was from St. Louis Today just a few months ago. Missouri Governor Eric Greitens, who was swept into office in 2016 with the vow to clean up a corrupt state government, was indicted and booked on a felony invasion of privacy charge for allegedly taking and transmitting a non-consensual photo of his partly nude lover shortly before that campaign started. It stems from a scandal that broke in which Greitens was accused of threatening his lover with the photo, an allegation that isn't mentioned in the indictment. Greitens has admitted to having an extramarital affair, but has denied the rest. Between February and today, he did stay in office, but now actually resigning from office today. So that's an interesting development. If you want to read that story we just mentioned, it is at stltoday.com. That's the St. Louis Post Dispatch. They have a good story, and they've been keeping up on all of this very much. I quickly ask those of you who are in the chat if you want to say what you're following today, what news stories you're following. James Crippen in the chat says he's following some action in Israel near Gaza. That's been a very active area lately, as well as this story we just mentioned, the Missouri governor resigning. So thank you so much, James, for letting us know what you're keeping an eye on. If anybody else wants to let us know what you're keeping an eye on, that would be great. Now, there's some other stories we've been monitoring today that have gotten my attention. One of which is the story we have up on AlBoeNEWS.net right now, and we will read it. It's from Time. It says, in a reply to a Twitter user Monday, the USGS warned that it would not be a good idea to roast marshmallows over the erupting volcano in Hawaii. USGS told the user that in addition to the dangers of being near the volcano, the sulfur rising from the vents would make the marshmallows taste bad, and the reaction between the sugar in the marshmallow and the sulfuric acid could prove to be explosive. In addition to the marshmallow warning, the USGS has issued a warning for the volcano, the highest alert level possible. That means a hazardous eruption is imminent, underway, or suspected. The agency had also issued a red level aviation code, which means an eruption is imminent or underway with significant volcanic ash and plume in the air. I'm really not sure who exactly would get an idea to try to roast marshmallows on an active volcano. People are losing their homes in this. This lava is devastating. It's been going on for weeks now. Not really sure whose bright idea it would be to try to roast volcanoes, but somebody had to ask, and the USGS had to deal with a question like that. Um, Also, I guess in big news is this story, this Roseanne story, Roseanne being canceled today following a couple tweets by Roseanne Barr that were classified as racist tweets about Valerie Jarrett, former administration official for President Obama. So that led to a very quick cancellation of the show. Many analysts who know the Hollywood industry didn't think that it would lead to such a quick cancellation. Some saying, oh, it might take weeks if the show is canceled at all. They may just go on hiatus. But no, very, very quickly, the decision was made to cancel the show, to end it just like that. And so Roseanne, which started with very good ratings in season 1, will not be back for season 2. So very interesting stories that we're following there. There's also one that we're taking a look at today about the student who was arrested with a loaded handgun at a California high school. This happened at San Lorenzo High School. I'm also in the Bay Area, so this is actually right across the bay from me. So it's in San Lorenzo High School in Alameda County, California. And it happened today, and the student was arrested at the school with a loaded handgun. He was in class at the high school today, and he was arrested, and he was reportedly carrying a 9mm handgun. It's not quite clear how the boy got the firearm or why he had it, but this did in fact happen. Something that seems like it's been happening quite a bit lately. Students being found with guns, being arrested with guns, students bringing guns to school, to other areas where there are bans for school, bans for having guns. Of course, the president speaking about the idea of arming teachers. That's very different than having teenage students with guns. So very interesting developments there. And we continue to see these reports and curious about them. And we just are going to keep an eye on those and continue reporting them, because we do feel that's interesting in the time where there have been so many of these types of shootings. Perhaps these students have no ill intent, but they still are bringing guns onto campus. It is happening, and it does get concerning for that. So we will continue to follow that as well. And let's see, what else can we monitor? What other stories? I have our breaking news TweetDeck that we use to monitor stories up here, and I'm taking a look here to see if there's any other news that's kind of coming out. This is interesting. National Weather Service Houston just tweeted, this month has been hot, and for the city of Houston, record-breaking hot. 18 days in May have already recorded 90 degrees or greater temperatures. That's Fahrenheit. Very hot already in Houston. I know a lot of areas have been warm lately. Quite interesting there. Central Coast News, KCOY, tweeting moments ago about the resignation of Missouri Governor Eric Greitens, pointing out that he becomes the first Missouri governor to resign amid a scandal. That is an interesting part of this whole thing. And let's see what else is coming out. If there's any other breaking news that we can find in the last few moments. Okay, this story came out a few minutes ago from ABC 15, and we'll read it to you as soon as I can get it up. So this actually ABC 13, rather. ABC 13 in Houston, Texas. That's KTRK. So you can find them at abc13.com. And the story we have here is that police say they are looking for the parents of two small boys who were found wandering alone in the parking lot of a Southwest Houston apartment complex. The children, believed to be ages 2 and 3 years old, were found around 12:30 p.m., so this afternoon, in the 8100 block of Richmond Avenue near Dunvale Road. Witnesses told police they saw the children alone and then coaxed them to go back inside their apartment, but they returned outside a short time later. A manager took the children to the leasing office and called police. When officers arrived, they found the apartment that might be theirs, but nobody was at home. Both children were checked out and are now in the care of the Children's Assessment Center. The parents of the boys have not been reached, according to Houston police, and they're trying to locate the parents there who are nowhere to be found despite all this. So it's a lot of interesting news, and this is something we will do when we do this. I want to say every day, but we'll see how it goes. We'll come on, we'll talk about the news that is kind of starting to break and the news that we can find, and listen to what you guys want to talk about, see if there's news that you found, and answer some questions. And we have a question actually that I see in the chat from James Crippen again, who's asking, are there safe storage laws in California? And so I'm going to look this up. Let's see. This is from Firearm. This is Firearm Safety from the state of California, Department of Justice. When I search this, it says here, let's click into this article about firearm safety. And what it says here is use a California-approved firearm safety device on the gun, such as a trigger lock or cable lock, so it cannot be fired. Store it unloaded in a locked container, such as a California-approved lockbox or a gun safe. For maximum safety, you should use both a locking device and a storage container. So it seems like they do have laws about how to safely store these. It just says firearm safety. I'm not sure if those are actual laws that you can be charged if you're not locking them up that exact way. And let's see, it actually does say a little bit over here, gun storage laws in California. This is on a site, criminaldefenselawyer.com. And it says, in California, a person commits criminal storage of a firearm by keeping or leaving a loaded firearm in a place where the defendant knows that a child under the age of 18 is likely to gain access to the gun without permission of the child's parent or guardian. So parents and guardians are required in the state of California, according to this, to have it locked in a place where a minor cannot get a hold of it. And if they leave it in a place where a minor could be expected to be able to get a hold of it, then that will constitute, says here, criminal storage of a firearm. So that's kind of interesting there. James saying, yeah, seems like that might be what happened here, depending on the exact circumstances. Yeah, so we don't know exactly how this 16-year-old got a hold of this firearm. It could be very interesting. It could be a parent or guardian, could be a friend, could have just found another way to get it. There are obviously ways you can get a hold of guns, and there have been many different ways you can get a hold of a firearm, but we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this to see maybe if it comes out how he got a hold of this. Yeah, and James saying that it will be interesting to see if they charge someone. Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see if what they end up doing with this. I'm sure they're going to go figure out what's up with the parents and how he got a hold of the gun, who it's registered to, that sort of thing. So we want to keep these about 15 minutes if there's not more breaking news that comes up. So we are close to wrapping up here for today. Let's check TweetDeck one more time to see if there's anything that we can see popping up in our news gathering feeds quickly before we wrap up. Well, this is kind of interesting. It says Malaysia has found about 1.2 tons of, sorry, just scrolled out of screen. Malaysia has found about 1.2 tons of hidden crystal meth, its largest ever seizure of the drug. So I find that a little bit interesting there. And I don't see anything huge breaking right now. If you like what we're doing here, let us know and we will continue doing it. This is something we want to do more, but you need to let us know what you think of it. subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, this sort of thing, so that we can keep building an audience for this kind of a program. And if you appreciate it and can donate even $1 or $2 to kind of help us pay for technology and, you know, be able to afford to do this, it would be so appreciated. The link is in the description, along with a list of our top donators who we really, really, really appreciate. And one more story before we wrap up. Christine Brennan, who tweets at C Brennan Sports, just tweeted out, the Senate is serving subpoenas to former USA Gymnastics CEO Steve Penny and former Michigan State President Lou Anna Simon for June 5th hearing on sexual abuse of Olympic athletes. So interesting developments there that many are sure to continue following, especially with all those USA Gymnastics sex scandals that have been going on as of late. We really appreciate those of you who were able to tune in for our first broadcast. We'll have this broadcast shown on YouTube, so you can check it out later and come on and watch our first one. It'll be more of an audio broadcast for now, I think. I think it works best that way because I can do it anywhere as long as I have my microphone, and it'll just have a better setup for now. Eventually, I want to get a studio more set up with a green screen and various things, but of course, that costs some money. So we're looking for your comments and just what you guys think. We really appreciate you guys joining us on our first day of doing this. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe. And thank you so much. You can find us at AlBoeNEWS, AlBoeNEWS on Twitter. Thank you so much. I'm AlBoe in California.